Some years ago, I was lucky enough to meet one of my teenage idols, a real hero of mine, a guy who I admired and wanted to be like. And I shook his hand, and it was all limp. Now, this Polestar, I've been looking forward to driving it for absolutely ages. It is gorgeous. And I was given this key, and it's quite possibly the cheapest, nastiest car key I've ever been given. If this is the handshake, it's like, well, I'm not going to name him, meeting my hero and being really disappointed. But you can't say that about the Polestar 2, surely. The all-new, all-electric car from the all-new car brand, Polestar. It looks fantastic. Not surprising, really, given that the CEO is a former chief designer of Volvo. But what's it like to drive? Well, I'm going to give it a go to see if it's slightly better than the key. So let's just recap on Polestar first. Polestar is owned by Geely, as in jelly, not Geely, it's Geely, which is a Chinese giant, also owned Lotus, London Electric Vehicle Company, and Volvo. And Polestar is officially a subset of Volvo, so you'll unsurprisingly find lots of Volvo bits in and around the cabin, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. You might actually say the car looks a little bit like a Volvo, and I would agree, just a shame that Polestar doesn't have its more unique look, but maybe that'll develop over time. So that's Polestar. The Polestar 2, let's just talk about some numbers. So let's talk about price. This car, the Polestar 2, comes in a one-size-fits-all, £49,900 before the plug-in car grant. Take £3,000 off that. Then you can add the performance pack or these leather seats, which are a bit odd, bearing in mind the car is supposedly vegan as standard. Why do a leather option? But about £4,000 as well. Change the wheels. £49,900 though is your basic price. So performance, as with all electric cars, you've got a big slug of torque, and you can just put your foot down and away. That's just so much fun. I never tire of that. 0 to 60, just under 5 seconds. I think it's 4.7 seconds. And there's over 400 brake horsepower, split between the two axles, electric motor in the front, electric motor in the back. So you're going to have some fun, particularly in a straight line. But it's a heavy car, as all electric cars are, and you kind of feel as you go around these corners in these twisty bits, it's weight that's kind of keeping the car down. You can't say there's a lack of grip. There is plenty of grip, four-wheel drive, and all that weight keeping the thing tied down. But it's just not an awful lot of feel through the steering. But most electric cars, you can probably say the same thing too. Braking, the brakes are actually fairly nicely modulated. You don't get that sort of grabby that you get in some electric cars when it's trying to regenerate power. And you can pretty much, as I'm driving around this hill route here, drive it on one pedal, which is something that you never tire of, also when you're driving an electric car. Now, in terms of ride comfort, that is an issue, and cars that come out of Volvo and the Volvo group never really, as you can see I'm jumping around a little bit, never really ride beautifully, and that is a problem with this car for me. This isn't the performance version, so it doesn't have the adjustable Öhlins dampers, but it does feel just a little bit cumbersome. Your wobbly bits tend to wobble just a little bit too much, a bit of a problem as far as I'm concerned, but it's quiet. And you are in a cabin that is absolutely gorgeous. You've got a nice big screen here, which is not dissimilar to what you get in a Volvo. Driving position is good. The choice of materials is really quite nice. And in that respect, in terms of build quality, I'd probably say it's slightly better than the Tesla Model 3, which is the car that this will always be compared to. In the back, there's reasonable space. It's not overly generous. Boot is a little bit small, and they've put the charging point on the back of the car, which I know a lot of cars have that, but when most people sort of drive in and park nose in, particularly in the US, I always think the charging point should be a little bit further forward rather than having to reverse in. But that's just a minor point. You've got loads of technology in here as well. You've got pilot assist, which is sort of self-driving on the motorway. You've got to stay in control, but it'll let you keep a set distance from the car in front and keep you in lane, and that just makes life a little bit easier. So this is a really, really nice environment, and it's those little design details that I think you would only get away with having if the boss is a designer by trade. So I love these frameless door mirrors. We've already got them here for the rear view mirror, but having them on the door, they just look cute And there's a little button down on the door here, which is from Harman Kardon, who make the audio system. And up in the full-size glass roof, you get the Polestar logo displayed just very subtly, so it's just on the right side of tasteful, and I like those little bits. But when you do look in this mirror, it's like looking out of a letterbox. It's just a tiny view out the back, which maybe they should take the technology a little bit further and have a camera that just displays the rear view mirror instead. One other thing that I don't particularly like is when you're opening the boot, it's really low down. That's going to get your fingers really dirty. But there is an awful lot to like about the Polestar 2. Design-wise, I think it is a tour de force. So then, the Polestar 2, you've got to compare it with the Tesla Model 3. I mean, it looks $1 million, doesn't it? It really is a great looking car. Some wonderful design details inside as well. And yeah, I really like it. But at the moment, it's slightly more expensive than a Tesla Model 3. It won't go as far as a Tesla Model 3, and it's not quite as quick as a Tesla Model 3. How to drive, ride's a little bit firm for me, but then so's the Tesla Model 3. Really, it's going to come down to whether you like the look of this or you like the look of the Tesla. Personally, I'd probably go American. Doesn't mean this isn't a good car. Really impressed by it so far, and really excited by seeing Polestars 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video.